Knockout City was a game that I was very excited for when it was first announced. After all, Dodgeball is one of the things that I remember really fondly from being a kid. And quite honestly, it doesn't really live up to expectations, but it's still really fun.
Not the leader of a cult, rabbit with sax.
Greetings, demons, and welcome to a Knockout City discussion video. This was originally a live commentary, and I deleted the commentary part of it, so here we are, discussing it instead. So, I just kind of wanted to talk about what I've really been enjoying about Knockout City, especially since I finally got round to actually moving over to PC. I've really been enjoying this game. I've been playing it quite a lot, and messing around with the customization, playing some of the mini games and stuff like that. And honestly, it's probably one of the best cheap games, quote unquote, that we've had in a while. And that does include things like Fall Guys and Among Us, which obviously took over my life for a very long time, and Fall Guys still to this day is something that I play. Knockout City was one of those games where it looked fun from the start, and a lot of people compared it to a multitude of other games that exist, and I'm not going to make any of those comparisons here because I don't think they're necessarily warranted, but at the same time, it is something that is very much built upon so many party games and shooters and so many 3v3 head-to-head sort of competitive games that it's like surprising it actually came out as well as it has. It's a very original game in the sense that I don't think I've ever played something that's quite like it. The mechanics are very interesting. The throwing alone, with how many different ways you can throw, how many different speeds, how many different methods there are of hitting your opponent with the ball, it's kind of insane how, kind of overcomplicated it can be at times, to the point where I still mess up quite frequently, and I'm someone who has played a lot of this game, especially on Xbox initially when it came out. I'm someone who normally picks up weird controls games pretty quickly, but I'm struggling with this one, and it's a really interesting thing because I still enjoy the game, I really do. It's something that I quite often will just jump onto, play a match or two, and just kind of enjoy myself. It's a very fun little party game, and I think beyond everything, that is kind of what I like about it the most. The fact that it reminds me of being a kid playing games on the Wii that were just kind of random and kind of weird, but it's modernized. It's got really nice graphics that are cartoony, but still, it's that Fortnite effect of, I really like looking at this game, even if it looks a bit odd. It's not realistic by any means, especially the character models are something that I do have a major issue with. Their faces are terrifying, quite honestly, and they're all like that, which is so weird, having that much customization, and every single character you can make looks questionable at best. But yeah, talking customization though, I've really been enjoying messing around with different outfits. The variety is there. There's, everything from top hats to devil horns for your headwear alone. There's so much variety, loads of tie-dye stuff, loads of cyberpunk, I guess, and so much more. It's just, there's such a variety. You can have leopard print if you want, if that's something that you're into. You can have pretty casual wear, you can have really sporty wear. The possibilities are kind of endless, and I do really like that. Customization is a big thing for me when it comes to video games. Something that really kept me playing Fortnite and Fall Guys, and even to some extent Among Us, was that I was able to just mix up my character a little bit between each game, between each match, and it really does bring the game to life for me. It's something that I really do enjoy. The same reason that I pretty much change my skin between every casual game of Fortnite I play is the exact same thing that kind of keeps me playing Knockout City. It's just one of the things where it's like, it doesn't really make too much sense on paper, but it's something that I just really enjoy messing with. Just, doing something as simple as just switching gloves or changing hair color or something, it really changes the game in a way that most people would probably overlook, and most people do, and I think that's fair enough. It's different people's opinions, it's different people's way of looking at a game. But yeah, the customization aspect is just so fun to me, and it's something that I wouldn't ever expect out of a game like Knockout City. It's a sport game at the end of the day, and You know, you may look at your FIFAs or your Pro Evos or whatever else and be like, well, you can change the kits, you know, you can change the colour, you can change your team's name, stuff like that. You can change the hair, I think, in some of the new FIFAs. But that's not the same, because at the end of the day, with a third-person game like Knockout City, you're up close with your character. A lot of the time, you get to actually see the customization, see the options that you've picked, and that is just a really, really cool thing. When it comes to the actual gameplay, as I say, I already have gone over how much I love the actual throwing mechanics and the catching mechanics. I'm not great with catching, as you can probably see in the gameplay, but I really do enjoy it. It's something that's very different. I don't think, from memory, I've ever played a game where the main battle mechanic, throwing mechanic, was throwing. You know what I mean? The main fighting, you know, ranged attack is throwing something and then catching other projectiles. It's something that, there might be like a Hulk game that does it, but it's something that's so rare to see that it's just a really fun thing to actually be able to do. And it's the thing that keeps me coming back, because if I want to play a shooter, I can play Fortnite, I can play Call of Duty, I can play whatever else. If I want to play something that's more sporty, I've got Rocket League, I've got FIFA. This is kind of in between, and I kind of like that about it. And unlike other small team, you know, PvP sort of games, like, you know, Spellbreak, or I'm trying to think of anything else really. Paladins is a great example, something that I really enjoy playing. Those games, you kind of just get stuck in certain playstyles and you can't really change. With the different balls that you get within each match, it actually mixes everything up very heavily. In gameplay, you'll see that I'm using the Moon Ball, which the mechanics are so weird with it. It's like low gravity, it has greater knockback, I think it moves slower regardless of the time you hold it for. It's a very interesting mechanic, but it's stuff like that that really mixes up the gameplay to a point where it always feels new regardless of how long you've been playing for. And I think overall that is the biggest thing. It's a game that is so unique, even match to match. Everything changes so frequently in it. Without having major updates, you are pretty much constantly changing up how you play, changing up the, you know, style of how you're actually working towards the win. And even when you lose, it feels like the other team has done a really good job at countering you. Because it's very rare you lose or win by a huge margin. It's always a very close game. The commentator is constantly calling out that you're close to a win, that you're, you know, it's next point wins, or, you know, it's very close, it's drawing, you're on a tie, stuff like that. And it really keeps you wanting to try your best and continue the fight. It's not like something like Rocket League where you get stuck in positions where, oh, it's 5-0 now to them, I might as well forfeit. You never really get that in Knockout City because it's such an even playing field, with the only huge disadvantage any team can have is just based in skill, which is a really nice thing. You're not... It's not like Rumble in Rocket League where suddenly, you know, one team can have every ability to counter your abilities or something like that. It's completely up in the air whether you'll run someone that has a ball, you might not have a ball, you might both have a ball, you might both be really good at catching, both be really good at throwing, you might both try the same throw and it counters each other. There's so many different things that can happen, and it just makes it really interesting, and I don't think there's many other games that have really tried to do something like that. But on that note, I think that is enough gushing about this game that I barely play on the channel. That's going to be it for this video. Make sure to like it if you did. Tell me what you think of Knockout City if you've played it. It is included with EA Play or EA Access, I can't remember. It's part of the Xbox Game Pass Ultimate subscription if you have that. And yeah, otherwise, subscribe if you're around here. I try and make videos every day. I'm having days off from time to time. But in any case, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!
I wish I was a little bit taller. I wish I was a baller. I wish I had a girl who looked good, I would call her. Wish I had a rabbit in a hat with a bat and a 6'4" baller.